The Z to Z podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the ReviewZed podcast, the game review of the Z to Z podcast. If the game has achievements, then we try to cover it here. I'm your host, Damien, and thank you for listening. If you've listened to the Z to Z podcast in the past, then you're familiar with our format. We bring you a separate weekly show covering just reviews of new and sometimes overlooked Xbox titles. And don't forget to check out the regular Z to Z podcast while you're at it. That show's good too, just like this one, but we have more vitamin D.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of ReviewZed. I am one of your hosts, Proulx, and joining me as always is Mr. Mango. How are you doing today?
Good. I would be the other host of ReviewZed.
That's true.
Or
That's
the
true.
other host?
The other host,
yes,
yeah. We're 3
perfect.
and 4, so
yes,
that makes sense, yeah. So, hey, G-Test is still a thing?
It is. So, and we're mixing it up because last week had a point recording glitch or whatever you want to call it where the feeds weren't giving any points to anybody. So this is a double week, which means we get to talk about the team bonus instead of the single bonus. So
Yay!
This is the team bonus. So team bonus is the new jingle. End the scoring period having unlocked at least 10 achievements flagged rare. Both teammates must complete this. We're going for that.
But yeah, flagged rare, is that like on TA flagged rare, or are they just the diamond achievements?
I think it's flagged rare on TA, which means a lot of 360 games have achievements flagged as rare.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad.
No.
I could do 10.
I think we can do that.
All right.
I think we each had almost, so far this week, we had almost 200 achievements each. So I think we're doing pretty good.
Well, that was for the double week.
For the double week, but that's still pretty good.
No, that is good. I'm not saying it's not. It's just it's the numbers are real big. Obviously, we don't know exactly how this week turned out, but the numbers are very large.
Yeah, very large.
We'll see how that line moves. Yeah, I don't know if
we can't see that far. We can't see that far into the future. Yeah.
But I assume we're still in it, so we'll go for it next week.
I'm assuming we're going to be good. So all right.
So let's talk about a game, very interesting game called Polygod.
Yes, Polygod, which was developed and published by Crafted Games. It released August 17th, 2018, so this is a relatively new game for the price of $14.99. And it is according to TA, it is a rogue-like game, and I would kind of view it more as a first-person shooter type of game. Yeah, definitely first-person shooter with roguelite elements, I guess is what you'd probably say. Yeah, and I'd say it's very light on the roguelite.
Yeah, it's permadeath, and that's kind of it,
yeah,
really.
Pretty much it.
I guess that's it. I don't... This game is not good, so we'll just start out.
It's really not good, and the graphics. To get an idea of what it looks like, I would kind of say it is polygonal. Like, I don't know if you remember the old test track game or test drive game that was in the arcades where you sit in the big thing or race. It was like where you have to go over like loops and stuff like that, where it's very polygonal. That's kind of what it is, but with first person shooter elements.
Yeah, it's very simplistic, very bright, and like you say, like everything is made up of squares and stuff. Like, it's not blocky like Minecraft. It looks like an up-resed N64 game.
Yeah, that would be what I would say. Yeah, just kind of polygony. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's ugly though. It is not.
No, it's not pretty.
Nice to look at. It's just blocky and blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a first-person shooter with. I guess we should start with like his terrible shooting mechanics.
Very terrible.
Like really frustratingly awful shooting mechanics. You have one gun, which is in the center of the screen. Very odd. Most first-person shooters are offset.
Offset it.
And it's terrible. I mean, it's just awful. And
yeah, even when you upgrade the gun, it's still awful.
Yeah. At no point playing this game did I ever feel like this was fair.
No. The AI is ahead of you all the time. All the time. You can kind of sometimes cheese what are the cylinder guys? Those silver, like the whitish cylinder guys.
the first enemies that you encounter.
Yeah, you can get them kind of wedged on a wall, and that's fine. But everything, the other enemies, there's a black orb that shoots 8 different directions at you. It's so unfair.
And moves. So, okay, it moves randomly, and it floats, so it can go wherever the hell it wants. What's really frustrating about this game is, like I said, the shooting mechanics are terrible. So your bullets move at the speed of a snail.
Yeah.
And no matter where you shoot, you're never going to hit it unless you're either A, too close so you get hurt, or B, you just keep firing and firing. Like, sometimes it would take me a minute to kill one of these guys.
Yeah. I mean, a minute I think is light. I had like 2 or 3 minutes just to kill one of them. Because if you get too close, they hit you with 8 shots and you're dead.
Yeah. It's awful. I mean, it is so bad and so frustrating. Like I said, you encounter these cylinder guys on the first level, and you're like, okay, they move. They generally head towards your direction and shoot at you now and again. You're like, okay, this seems appropriate level of difficulty. Then you get to those black guys, and like you die on the first level like 4 or 5 times before you figure out how to kill them.
Yeah, and that's only if you happen to get a seed that isn't completely terrible.
Oh, yes. It's procedurally generated levels as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping that somebody would have posted, hey, this is an easy seed. No.
Yeah. And, you know, I got so fed up that you can hop up on the walls and kind of try to skip a bunch of the level.
I was going to ask if you did that, because I figured out you could jump up on the walls and try to run across the level. Well, you can fall out of the world too.
Yep, and get hurt. And the problem is those black balls, which will come up and just attack you. So it doesn't even really save you any time. You're better off playing it safe, but it's terrible and awful doing it that way because you're just shooting mindlessly. You're just holding the right trigger down the entire time you're in the level. You're missing 99% of your shots, and you're getting frustrated because you're getting hit all the time.
Yeah, I got one of the upgrades is it gives like a triple shot right before it hits the enemies. But even then, the fire rate is still painfully slow.
Yes.
And it didn't really seem to do much more damage to the enemy.
So one of the things of the game is that when you kill an enemy, you get a soul, which is the currency in the game in Polygod, and you randomly throughout the levels are these upgrade stations where you can get random upgrades, movement speed, hit points, damage modifiers, gun modifiers, and stuff like that. First of all, they don't do enough to make a difference soon enough.
Correct.
And so, like, even if you play it smart on the first level, and you get all the upgrades you can, because you kill all the enemies, you can get all the souls, and then you get the second level as a boss. Very, very frustrating boss.
Extremely frustrating.
And then you beat him. You get to the second actual world, and that was it. That was as far as I got in this game. I could not get further. No matter how safe I played it, no matter how carefully I picked my upgrades, it never made a difference as soon as I got to that.
I couldn't even get past the boss. Because as soon as I get to him, I'd run around and I'd get him down to about 1/8 of his life left, and then he's smaller and faster, and you can't hit him with your slow shots, and he would just wreak havoc on me, and I'd die. And then you get to restart in the world, not on the boss battle, on the world.
Yeah.
With no upgrades.
All the way to the beginning.
No anything. It's start at the beginning. Have fun.
So to say this game is challenging would be a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, the difficulty level is way too high, and there's no adjustment for it.
Yeah. So a lot of these achievements, most of these achievements have never been unlocked, and some of them are ridiculous. We should talk about the list here. The one that I saw that I'm almost convinced, I'm sure there's a way to cheese it. Somebody's going to figure out a way to cheese it. But I'm pretty convinced that just by skill alone, you cannot do this. And that's make it through the entire game without getting hit.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
I can't get through 2 rooms without getting half my health taken down.
Yeah, no way. I get hit constantly in the game.
Yeah. It gets even worse on the second level. There's these submarine things that shoot homing missiles at you, and you have to shoot them. You can't avoid them because they home on you. And with the wonky shooting and the twitchy controls, you just can't do it. It's impossible. Maybe we're just terrible and somebody's going to come show us. But I don't believe that to be the case because, like I said, almost nobody has unlocked any of these achievements.
Yeah, 29. It has 61 achievements for 1,000 gamer score. 29 of the achievements as of this morning, no one has unlocked. That's now granted, not a lot of people have played the game because they've all realized it's rubbish. I think it was 56 people have played it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't get over how bad it is. I mean, we've played some games that were meh, not great, but they still had some charm to them. But this is a game I'd expect on a bad Games with Gold month where they just give you this turd that's impossible to play, and here it is, kind of like Dear God. That was another game that was just, what do I do in this again? I mean, it's the same thing. What is my goal? What is the end goal of this game? And you really don't know.
Yeah. And it's weird. It's so weird, too. I remember how frustrated I was when I first played the game because absolutely no tutorial or anything, which is okay generally sometimes. But this game, it puts you in a room with very strange looking creatures, I guess you would call them. They're NPC characters.
Yeah, but they don't really tell you anything.
They don't say anything important, but they're just like an obelisk, and one's a bee, and they're just a bunch of shapes, and I don't know what is happening in this game.
No, it is, and I mean that's one of the best achievements in the game is that there's actually an achievement for killing all the NPCs on the first world. So it's very gratifying because you're so frustrated with the game that you need to just destroy something. So you kill them, but they take forever to kill because your gun is so terrible.
Yes, and you're not exaggerating. When you say forever, it probably takes 3 to 4 minutes of just hold down the right trigger and stare at this guy while you shoot him in the face.
Yeah, per character. Not just all of them, per character. Yeah. One of the bigger ones really took a long time.
Yeah. Probably 5 minutes plus, maybe.
Yeah, easily.
And it's like this game, so even when you're trying to get something easy out of it, because I think we both have three achievements.
Yeah, we each have 3 achievements. And the timer says I only had like an hour in the game. No, I got way more than that in this game. Just trying to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you this. Like I said, the second level is less fun than the first.
Oh, well, then that means that it's terrible.
Yeah. And man, so one of the achievements I got was for getting to the boss and beating him without using any upgrades. But because the upgrades are kind of meaningless, it didn't really make it any harder. It was just, okay, I just got to shoot this enemy again.
Yeah, and what was that? The rating, the TA ratio on that's a 374. That's just on the first boss.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'd like to say something positive, but there's not a lot redeeming in this game.
No, even the price isn't redeeming. I mean, if you really wanted to play this, $14.99 is insane. Like,
yeah, no.
Like, this is one of those games where it should have been free on Games with Gold or under $10. I mean, I wouldn't pay any more than $8 for this game.
Yeah. Ugh. The music is super repetitive too.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Literally nothing good to say about this game.
It's actually kind of refreshing. We actually had a game we don't like mutually do not like, and this is definitely it.
Yeah, and I get the same sort of sense from other people that have played it. It's not a game. It's certainly not a game for achievements.
No, absolutely not.
This would be avoid at all costs. But it's definitely not a game for fun, either Polygod. So I think both of us say you should avoid this.
Yeah, definitely avoid this game. And Crafted Games, if you are listening to this, either patch it and make it so it's playable, or try again next time.
Yeah, maybe just scrap the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just pretty bad.
All right, well, that was Polygod, and that is it for this week with Mighty Mango and myself. So we will catch you guys all in 2 weeks' time.
Have a good one.